Hello people, Lucho here. Well, this is a short video, okay? Many people asked me how to improve the level of energy or the life force in them, etc. Well, there are many ways, there are practice energy work or qigong or prana breathing. There are many ways. But the easiest way to improve your energy right away is to change the type of water you drink. I'm not going to talk much about water, because you need to do your own research, but water, we see water as an element or a state of matter or whatever, but water is much more than that. I mean, water is alive, we know that, water has memory, etc. But when you look at the energetic structure of water, you see that water is a manifestation, a physical manifestation of the life force of existence. So, what happened to water is, beside this water, normal water we drink, beside that it's full of chemicals that are not good and etc., well, it doesn't have life force, understand? Because the water we get at home goes through the pipes, and first of all, when you put pressure in the water, in the pipe to move the water, first water loses its memory. And every time that the water goes through a right angle, a 90 degrees angle in the pipe, well, it dies. It loses the life force. So before we drink the water, we need to restructure the water. Probably you heard about structured water, or hexagonal water is called too. And this is just a name, another name, to describe water as it exists in nature, in this energized, alive state. So once we get our water from the pipe, from the faucet, from whatever, we can restructure it. Now, structured water, it has a different hydrogen bonding in the atoms, it's a different angle than if you check it with unstructured water. Also, structured water has this ability to trace minerals and elements and to neutralize toxins, etc. But the most important thing is, after some time that you drink structured water, you will start feeling different, much more alive, if you want. Now, for us really understand the science of water, it is important really to understand that water is energy. And because it is energy, it can be measured. Structured water is not something, that made up by some, health gurus, or marketing purposes, like they want to put it in the internet. It is a real phenomenon, and it can be seen with the microscope, the difference, or the energy can be measured. In the old times, we measure with some dowsing, or some, psychic abilities, whatever. But nowadays, we can measure it with something that's called the gas discharge visualization. It's a scientific thing that shows that structured water has much more energy. So in nature, structured water has this viscosity, probably you see when in the river, the water goes on top of the stones that has like a surface, This is called a hydrophilic surface, and it happens when the water is exposed to light. So from the whole spectrum of visible light, water get a little of structure, but the most of it happens from the ultraviolet and the infrared. Mostly the infrared. So regular water, as we remember from school, is H2O. But when water is structured, it becomes H3O2. This means there is a molecule, this is a molecule of water, there is a big part here, and there is a surface. This is the part that is the honeycomb or the hexagonal holding the molecule of water. So H3O2 has extra protons. These protons are in the big part here, okay? In the form of hydronium ions. So the result is that you have hydronium ions in the middle of the chunk of the water, and in the hydrophilic surface you have this honeycomb structure with negative charge. I mean, the center is positively charged and the surface is negatively charged. This creates a battery with a positive and negative poles or ends. You see, it contains energy. Now, as I said, it's a short video. I'm not gonna talk much about the technicality of it, because like as always I encourage you to just to try it. You will see, if you water a plant with the structured water, you have two plants, the same one with structured water, normal water, you will see it grows much healthier, faster and bigger. I mean, this same happened to you when you drink this water. So how we make this structured water? Well, there are many ways to do it. People use crystals, they put it in the sunlight, etc. Some people expose the water to infrared light. I've seen many people doing this, but they seem not to know that infrared will not go through glass. Okay, I've seen a bottle with infrared. Infrared doesn't go through glass, so it goes certain part, but not the part that structures the water. So if you're gonna use infrared light, you need to expose the water directly. But there are many other things like imploders, like the Dan Winter imploder, which is something that will spin the water in certain, geometry, like the Fibonacci sequence, etc. It's a bit quite expensive. You can also make at home is a tube with marbles inside, and when the water goes through, creates certain movement that will restructure with the water. There are many ways, but I recommend vortex in the water. The water, when you create a vortex, the vortex naturally, when you spin water, it will create the right geometry, the right, the Fibonacci sequence, etc., which is what happens in nature anyway, in the whirlpools and even the waterfalls, etc. So, once you structure the water will increase its energy up to 80%. That is measurable in laboratories. So you can just take a glass of water before you drink. It's not the ideal, but before you drink a glass of water, just take a spoon. If it's wooden or plastic, better than metal. Just spin it a bit and drink it. When you structure water with certain devices, there are many available in the market, machines and etc. But I don't recommend this. But anyway, when you structure water, the ideal is to leave the water overnight. You need to give water some time to recover and to be filled again with life force energy, and you drink it in the morning. In the old times, everybody used to do this. My grandmother, who was a healer, she used to put the water in some container and leave it overnight and give to the patients in the morning. If you give time to water, it will also recover by itself. But when you structure, you create that honeycomb, that hexagonal molecular structure that allows for life force energy to come in and stay in the water. So if you're gonna put a spinner, a vortex thing, I recommend you get some good one. Understand? I mean, there are some little things on a budget that you can do. Is just 2 plastic bottles. Let's say these are plastic bottles, and you put them like this, and you with a lid, with a cap here, you glue them, you make a hole in between them, and you just put the water and spinning. You can do this too, or you can buy online on eBay some little plastic things that you connect to bottles, etc. But I was in Germany a few years ago in some laboratory when they test all these things, and all these cheap devices, structure the water to a certain extent, but it's not really 100% okay. So I use this device that is designed for the water to spin in the same direction, in the right direction, to create a vortex in the right direction. But okay, you don't have to go, so sophisticated. You just can do it with spinning, with some system. I'm not affiliated with anybody that sells these things, so for me it's the same whatever you get, or if you make it yourself. I just wanted to bring awareness to what really water is. When we get life force energy, okay, we get it through breathing, through the sunlight, and through water, and through food. But most of processed food is dead, energetically dead. You should also eat at least 50% of live food, really alive food, But for increasing quickly your energy, just change the type of water you drink, and you will see the results in very, very short time. Okay, I'm back because I decided to include in this video one of the things I use for vortexing the water, that it really creates a very, very effective vortex. So this is what you can do also with the 2 bottles, with 2 plastic bottles. But there are some also in this device, some magnets here. You can find the same little plastic thing with magnets. As you can see, I mean, you cannot see, I'm sure, in the camera, but the water, it goes, I spin it at least 2 times. The water goes through the surface here. It does not fall down straight to the lower container. When you spin with plastic bottles, we will just go down and will create some little damage in the structure. These angles are designed for the water to just slide like it happens in nature. So that's it. Once that you have the water with structure, there is another thing. Okay, I didn't prepare this, so I have it somewhere here, but this one I prepared this morning. What I do is I put the water in a container with shungite, or whatever, however it's said in English. There are stones, especially come from Russia, but you can buy online on eBay anywhere. And I just put some crystal for high frequency, but shungite will keep the structure for a long time, will absorb some things like, fluor or some things, just also do your research. When I use water, when I spin the water, I use filter water. Okay, I filter it first with some very good filters, with carbon, active carbon, etc. It's not necessary, but I don't like the chemicals. Then I keep it overnight with minerals, with crystals, with shungite, and I drink in the morning and throughout the whole day. So I show you this before everybody start writing to me, how is this vortex thing and everything. Well, here it is. Thank you and see you soon. So that's it, the answer for all those of you that asked about how to increase energy. Thanks for watching and see you soon.